The Mammoth try to right the ship with a couple games at home this week. We're going to take a look at what it's going to take to beat Buffalo and get back on the winning track.
You are Locked On Mammoth, your daily podcast on the Utah Mammoth, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome in once again to Locked On Mammoth. I'm veteran NHL voice Tom Callahan, joined as always by longtime team analyst Robyn Leaño. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. Thanks for joining us as we get to talking about a huge week coming up for the Utah Mammoth. This time we're talking about the Buffalo Sabres coming to town. Then the New York Islanders are in. It's a little two-game mini homestand here that Robyn, I think, has dire implications already in November here on this season in a lot of ways. The team started great, had a 7-game win streak. Everything looked awesome, and now has lost 5 of 6, and they look like a far cry from that team. So this game against Buffalo is huge to me because they need to start winning at home, which they're a mid-pack team. Even the release we got from the Mammoth talking about it, they are, since January of last year, I think it was, they're 16th, tied for 16th in home wins. That is not good enough on home ice if you want to be a playoff team.
Right. No, absolutely, Tom. And, here's the things, a couple of things I was thinking about when going into this game and how important it is. And the first thing that came to my head was a flashback, and I always use this one as an example, right? When I take a look at the Mammoth game against the San Jose Sharks, and I said, if Mammoth don't put up X amount of goals, I'm disappointed because I have an expectation because there's a separation between the kind of team the Sharks are. I don't know. We'll figure out if that's still true or not based on where their trajectory is, but that's for a whole different conversation. Versus the kind of team where the Mammoth are. And so the same thing can be said for the kind of team that the Buffalo Sabres are to the kind of team that the Utah Mammoth are. There should be a pretty clear difference, and this needs to be shown on home ice for the Mammoth against the Buffalo Sabres.
Couldn't agree more. Absolutely. By the way, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Robyn, Buffalo comes in losers of 3 straight, and it actually started the 3 straight with that overtime loss to Utah. That was the only victory of the road trip for the Mammoth, and it took overtime to pull it off. Now, once again, I will remind you, the Mammoth looked dominant in the OT against Buffalo, but Buffalo put up a pretty good fight. And as it turned out, that game was a harbinger of things to come as they went on to drop games right through Canada, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa. Yes, there were 2 back-to-backs in there, but Robyn, I'm looking at this team and I'm looking for a spark and I'm trying to figure out who's going to provide it right now. And I think that's probably the biggest thing I want to see coming back home. Everybody has to have the spark playing at home. If you're not fired up to play at Delta Center, to play in front of the fans who are great and give you every reason to be motivated. But Robyn, I think that's #1 for me. This is a measuring stick of heart. Who has it? Who doesn't? Who wants to be here and win some games and be a part of this? Because winning's contagious, but so is losing. You start to grouse a little bit. You start to get a little complacent, or some things just snowball, and they have to stop that before it starts.
It really does. And I really firmly believe we've been saying top six for a while, but I'm going to go ahead and go ahead and extend it because the expectation now, Tom, because the third line has been doing well and actually picking up some of the slack, is saying the top 9 really, really needs to showcase something. I want to see that physical edge that we're going to expect from Brandon Tanev, because we talked about it in yesterday's episode. We haven't seen that. I need to see that physical edge from Jack McBain. I need to see Liam O'Brien, get let loose, let him off his leash or whatever you need to do. And then, of course, you've got your scoring guys, Peterka, Gunther, Cooley, whatever it is, find your edge back. Whether it's the physicality side, whether you're the goal scoring side, whatever it is, find it.
And Robyn, here's the thing. There is no room for error because so many teams are so bunched up right now, all around. And look, the Mammoth are not, I would say, within striking distance of the first place Avalanche because they've opened up a decent lead, but they're certainly within striking distance of second, third, staying in the wild card. But if things don't go well this week, if they drop one or both at home, not only are they out of the wild card, here's the tough thing. Even if you're a point or two out of the wild card, if you're 4 teams back, that's the hard part, is when you need to leapfrog 1 team, maybe 2, okay, but now when you're talking about having to leapfrog 4, that's where it becomes difficult because as opposed to needing someone else to stumble a little bit, now you need 3 other someones to stumble a little bit, and that's a lot to ask. And so that's why while the Mammoths still have their destiny in their own hands, they need to take advantage of that.
I mean, one of the things I was thinking about, Tom, looking at the standings and looking where things are right now, if around, let's say this time next week, if the Mammoth are leapfrogged because they play San Jose again, if they're leapfrogged by San Jose, remember we talked about pressing the panic button? That might be the time to do it.
2 of the hottest teams in the NHL right now are the Sharks and the Ducks.
It's so weird. Like what timeline?
Guess who they see next week?
What timeline are we in?
Well, I don't know. I don't know which hockey verse we're in right now. I have no idea, but it's kind of crazy. And yeah, guess who they see next week after the Sabres Islanders stretch? Sharks Ducks. So, and then they got Vegas, and then they got the Rangers who are awake now.
Now here is the point about that they play Sharks Ducks is, the Mammoth can either can either lose to them or and we'd all be disappointed, right? Either way, it's a disappointment or whatever. Or if they win, but and do it handedly, the Mammoth could be a team, and I still firmly believe they are a really good team, and I think we all know this, right? That they can expose them what those teams are as like frauds. Maybe they're going faster, maybe they're higher and above than where they should be right now, because who really expected the Ducks and the Sharks to be in the top, in the top 4 in the Pacific Division right now?
Well, no one, but Robyn, to that point, people are going to say that about Utah. They're going to say that they were a fraud team. They're going to say that they were undeserving of their 7-game win streak.
And that's the point that I'm trying to make as well, do you want, the Mammoth need to retake the narrative? And that starts this week, because if they're kind of moving along the line and around the median, that's not good enough to me.
I agree.
Average is not good enough. We already know this team. We already do, Tom. And the expectation is there.
Yeah. No, the expectation is definitely there. And it should be there. It should be on them. I agree with that 100%. Yes, this team should have that weight of expectation on it for this season. We said that already. Playoffs or bust. We mean it.
Yeah, we do mean it. And I am going to hold them to that. And you're going to hear me pretty much keep repeating that every single week.
Yep. And I don't blame you. Absolutely. And that's where we want them to be. That's where we need them to be. Yeah. And I think they can and should be there. So, but there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of teams punching above their weight. And here's the question, Robyn, are the Wild and the Blues and the Preds the teams that they've shown us so far? Are the Wild gonna kind of reclaim where they were last year? Now, remember, the Wild were the team that had the hot start last year.
They slipped
back down to earth. Yeah. But they still rode it long enough to get into the playoffs.
The Blues can't win for whatever it is.
I know, but this is the thing, is it's a long season. Teams are going to turn these things around. And again, that's why losing ground now worries me just a little bit. So,
because you want to be able to, I make this joke, and it's a joke of a comment about fantasy hockey, roto style fantasy hockey. Our Sparkles Hockey League, by the way, is head to head, but roto style fantasy hockey. I play in a roto league with another friend of mine, and we make the comment about it where if you're ahead and you're in, like, you are running with it in the first 2 months of the season, like, at that point, it's going to be hard to catch up to you. You need to keep the momentum going. You need to just go out and go on a gun. You can't just coast and think you're going to be okay, because you can be in the top. You can still be in the top, but barely there. 1 bad week, 2 bad weeks, 3 bad weeks, they add up, and you're going to start falling below.
Yep. There's a lot of cases where, teams could fall off. And so that's what you wonder. I mean, right now, Nick Schmaltz is carrying this team. He's leading them in scoring. And
which is like if we rewinded 2 months and you had told me that, I would have said, no, you're lying. And that's not a bad thing on Nick Schmaltz. It's just that, like,
you would have assumed it would have been Clayton Keller. You might have thought maybe Cooley.
Cooley, Gunther. One of them.
But and Schmaltz is over a point a game right now, and good to him.
Yeah.
I mean, bully to you, sir, for having such a great start. But
contract helps.
Yes, it does. So he's got to continue that on. All right, we're going to take a little more of a look at Buffalo here in this game coming up, and these 2 games coming up at home. The Islanders are also coming to town as well. As Robyn and I continue on, what's it going to take for the Mammoth to turn things around? Today's show brought to you by Drip Drop. Look, when I'm hydrated, everything just works better. My focus, my energy, my mood, even my skin. And that's why I've been using Drip Drop. It's doctor-developed hydration that keeps me running at full power, no matter what my day looks like. Drip Drop isn't your average sports drink. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading brands, using a science-backed formula trusted by medical professionals, firefighters, and over 90% of top college and pro teams. I actually have the sugar-free version, which I really like. And believe it or not, it tastes amazing. It's actually pretty good. My go-to flavor, I like the watermelon. I think that's great. And it's become my secret weapon for staying sharp and energized through those long days. You know what? Hydration, it's a non-negotiable for me. It should be for you. Drip Drop helps me feel sharper, calmer, and honestly, just better overall. So right now, Drip Drop is offering our podcast listeners 20% off your first order. Go to dripdrop.com and use our promo code LOCKEDONNHL. That's dripdrop.com, promo code LOCKEDONNHL for 20% off. Stock up now before the heat hits hard and keep your body and mind performing at their best with Drip Drop. Tom Callahan, Robyn Leaño, Locked On Mammoth. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every single day when it comes to the Utah Mammoth hockey team. And hey, if you're still here, go ahead and tickle that subscribe button for us. Just Robyn's like, what are you talking about? Hey, you know what? I'm trying a gentler approach. There's no more smashing of said like button. You can go ahead and just tap it, nudge it, just give it a boop, whatever you want to do.
Kind of boop.
Give it a boop. But if you like the show, hey, we're here, and we're talking every day about this hockey team and what's going on in and around the league. We talked a little yesterday about the Hockey Hall of Fame class. Robyn, we talked about some of the players who could step up. Looking at the injury list this week, we mentioned how we miss Alex Kerfoot, and he's going to be out for a while, and talking about players who could step up and try to get things going here. The thing is, right now for the Mammoth, the answer has to come from within. There's no one who's going to come flying in from the outside. It's just, I don't think a trade is even worth exploring at this point, unless you get a killer deal. If you get a smoking deal, okay, great, that's fine. But
if
I don't think that's in the
finds
cards.
out a way to do it, then yes. But
sure. I mean, look, if somebody offers you Connor McDavid for a ham sandwich, you ask them if they want mayo or mustard. But the thing is that I don't think they need that right now. I think they just need to rediscover the form they had earlier, because they've shown us they can be that team except for consistency.
Yep. And that's why we brought up the point about maybe even getting some AHL call-ups. And there was a question in our comments is like, are you doing that because that player is better or to shake up the lines? The answer is to shake up the lines, because you need to figure out you need to find out some way to help some of these other players refine their confidence. And sometimes shaking up the lines is what you need to do that. And sometimes it involves calling up somebody to be like, your job could be in jeopardy if this person plays well at this line. You never know.
Fear is a tremendous motivator.
Yes.
I think absolutely guys should be afraid of sitting in the press box or losing their spot. Yes, if that's what it takes to get them going. Now, I hope not on a regular basis, but something to shake them out of these doldrums, Robyn, because they just, as a team, have been, even if you look at their scoring the last several games, it's been bursts of individual efforts that have put pucks in nets. It's really not been team-oriented scoring. And that kind of worries me, because you can have a player break through in a certain game, maybe carry you through, somebody drops a hat trick, you get a big win, but those are individual efforts. If the lines are going well and they're getting the chances, I feel a lot better about that. And right now, I don't necessarily see that for Utah.
And it still feels so weird because it feels like we're just so far removed from talking about like how excited we are about the pickup line, how they're unstoppable. And remember how I did say this, that as long as that line stays hot, the team stays hot.
Yeah. Yep. And
again, I wasn't expecting them to score every single game, and score 3 goals, have like a multi-point game each player every single game, I should say. But like, you still expect them to stay consistent.
Robyn, I'm kind of curious. We should take a look at the FanDuel odds on this game, because I'm going to bring up a couple of things, because I said I wanted to talk about Buffalo. Buffalo has not won in regulation on the road this year. They're 0-3-2 on the road. So there's the jinx for you. 14 points is tied for last in the Eastern Conference. It is not last in the NHL. Calgary has that distinction. But they are not. They are last in the East, and Buffalo is struggling to put some quality games together right now, just like the Mammoth struggle to put that 60 minutes together. So I think right now they're ripe for the picking. I think the time is now to take advantage of them. Plus, the guy who's supposed to be really their big-time leading scorer, Josh Norris, has been out on the IR. Ask me how I know, Sparkles Hockey League, because he is one of the 84 players I've had to IR this year. Had a tremendous training camp and then got hurt right away, which has been his downfall. I think Josh Norris is going to be one of those players we talk about and say, well, what if his body hadn't given out on him? So they don't really have the leadership right now. Plus, they're missing Rasmus Dahlin, who in the Crazy World department, over the summer, his fiance had a cardiac event while they were on vacation, and now she's getting a heart transplant. And so Dahlin has left the team to go be with her, rightfully so, while she receives care for her heart transplant back over in Europe. So he's not with the team either. This is a Buffalo team that is ripe for the picking. So hopefully they're able to do that. Robyn, why don't we grab a quick break? We'll come back. Let's look at those FanDuel odds. I'm really curious to know what they're showing us. We'll talk about that.
And today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or just want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who has scored next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at even bigger payouts. I know there are a lot of Jazz fans who might just have mixed emotions of what things are going on this season, but maybe you want to find a way to keep yourself engaged in the game and engaged in the season. FanDuel's that app for you. It keeps every game exciting, even when your team is making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head over to FanDuel.com. Sign up for an account. Play your game with FanDuel, with the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Tom Callahan, Robyn Leaño, Locked On Mammoth. Thanks for joining us here. Hey, tell your friends about the show if you like what you hear, you like what you see. Buffalo preview coming up. This is dropping on the Wednesday of the game. They have the Islanders on Friday. Huge week, Robyn. I don't think we can understate it enough. And we'll talk about the Island a little bit later on. But right now, I mean, circle this Sabres game. They can't lose. They can't. No. This is must win. You've got to beat Buffalo.
Yeah, you do have to beat Buffalo. I do want to put a little side quest of a comment, Tom.
Okay.
And also say, not only should the Mammoth be winning, but I do feel like the Donors need a little bit of a win too. They need
They sure do.
They will get a win. They'll get to see their favorite player.
That's true. They absolutely will. And you know what? Kesselring is making his return. He struggled, was on IR.
The game against Utah last time, right? They the game Utah and Buffalo was he saw Kesselring got himself in a little fight. He even said before the game, it's like, yeah, no, he's going all in.
Yeah, no, he's fired up. He's ready to go.
Oh yeah, so, he's fired up.
Yeah, but speaking of being fired up, I want to know, Robyn, I'm fired up to know what the odds makers think about this, because I've already told you I feel like it's must win. They're at Delta Center. They better find some spark up and down that roster. There better be something special coming out on the ice Wednesday. So
all right, let's take a look at the lines then on FanDuel. Right now, Utah Mammoth are 1.5 favorites at +120. -200 on the money line, +162 if you want to bet on the Sabres. Total points is 6.5.
Interesting.
-105 for the over, -115 for the under.
Do you see any opportunity there?
I see, like, if we're going based off what I want to see from this Utah Mammoth team, taking the puck line, taking the spread here at that point at 1.5, I want to take those points, right at that +120. I think it might be worth something,
especially at home, right?
Especially at home.
I mean, we're talking about Delta Center. We're talking about all these important things. It just feels like this could really... I feel like this is a moment. This has got to be a statement game. This is a huge moment here. The middle of November, with what could easily be a very overlooked game against a weak opponent. I hate the trap game.
Yes, they need to retake control of the narrative. You don't want to be the team that's spinning. You want to be the team that had a bad week and is taking control of it again.
Man, this is... I'm glad I don't bite my nails. I really am glad I don't, because this would be the week to do it.
I'm happy for you.
All 6 periods of hockey. All 6 periods. It would just be... so... I don't know. I'm interested to see what people think in the comments too on this one. I mean, the Islanders just woke up too and actually played a really nice game against the Devils. Managed to come out with an OT win against a very good New Jersey Devils hockey team. Nothing's easy now, Robyn. Yeah. I know you did say that. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. By the way, even though I think the value for the puck spread should be is a good pick, I'm still also taking the under on it.
Okay.
Under 6.5.
Good to know. I don't think I mind that play, but every time I try to place an over/under bet, something crazy happens. The game ends up 10-9.
I'll even tell you what I the score I'll be happy with.
Okay.
4-1 Utah.
Okay. I was actually thinking a 4-2. Possible empty netter at the end, but yeah, 4-1. I'll take 4-1. That would be great. That means defensively they took care of their own end.
And again, and why I say, but the Donors get a win, Josh Doan gets a goal or a point at the very least.
Nice. There you go. All right, Robyn, before we head on out of here, you had a great nugget that I wanted to drop in here about the strength of schedule that you had read. And I think look, I just told you the schedule is not getting any easier, but maybe statistically it will. Yeah. maybe?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I mean, it's interesting because I saw it was a tweet from ESPN where it said the Utah Mammoth had among one of the top 5 or so hardest schedules in this first stretch of the first 2 months of the season, and then from this point on, their strength of schedule was 27th, which means it is among much the easier side of how tough it is.
So that should give you hope.
It should give you hope. It should, but at the same time, don't get complacent. Don't say, "Oh, you know what? Let's coast." What did I say earlier? Don't coast.
Yeah, I know. I know. Don't take your foot off the gas. That's not what you want to do here. But Robyn, I think it's a good point. Is just because you do have that advantage, quote unquote. These are all still NHL teams with high caliber hockey players. There are no off nights, even this game against Buffalo. But show us that now. Show us that you're going to turn the corner and start Wednesday. And no, you can't win Friday on Wednesday. So just focus on the Wednesday game, play 3 solid periods of hockey, and show me that you are invested, you're back, and you have the spark. Because that's been missing. I feel like they just haven't quite had that lately. And I think that that's important. They just, I don't know where it went, but they need to find it.
One last note before we leave here, Tom. I did also see a note that Durzi, who is expected, based off his initial timetable, to be back this week, will not be back this week.
Oh, well, that's not the news we were hoping to hear.
No, it's not, unfortunately. That would have been a nice, player to inject back into the lineup.
Sure would have. Boy, nobody would have complained about getting him back even a little earlier, but
as long as it doesn't bring back the 11-7, but
you do love your 11-7, Robyn. What's wrong with that? No. Yeah, I don't either. Actually, it's funny you bring that up because I thought about that earlier and I'm like, what if the return of Durzi is the return of the 11-7? At this point, I think Simashev needs to sit and eat some popcorn for a couple of games. Yeah, I really do.
I would,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but I'd like to see Desi get some games.
Yes, be nice. It really would. It'd be nice to be healthy defensively. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. All right, let us know your thoughts, your predictions down in the comments. If you want to reach out to us on social, Robyn, where can folks find us?
They can find us everywhere on social media at Locked On Mammoth. That's at Locked On Mammoth. Pretty much active everywhere. I'm mostly active over on Twitter/X. You can find us there. You can find me there. Message the account there, and I'll probably get back to you within a business day, maybe 2. You can also find me personally at Robyn_Leaño.
And if you want to find me on Blue Sky, I am at Tom Talks, and I am on Twitter at Callahan on Air. And we look forward to hearing from you no matter what venue you want to reach out to us. We always love to see the comments. We always try to read and respond to as many as we can. And we appreciate you, as always, for being a part of Locked On Mammoth.